Imagine yourself right now at the edge of an invisible precipice. It is not an abyss of jagged rocks, but an abyss of possibilities. Every single second of your day, you stand before this gorge. Choosing to go left could mean fortune. Choosing right, total ruin. And the worst part isn't the fall, it's the paralysis. That knot in your stomach that tightens when you need to fire someone, invest your life savings into a new business, or end a relationship that no longer makes sense. Indecision is the silent thief of time, draining your vital energy while you remain motionless, terrified of getting it wrong. But what if I told you there is an ancient code? An age-old behavioral pattern used by the man considered the father of faith and prosperity to hack this fear. I'm not just talking about religion, I'm talking about high-level mental strategy. I'm talking about Abraham and the secret that most people ignore: the ability to make irreversible decisions before even seeing the result. Think of your life right now as a room filled with thick fog. You have a flashlight in your hand, but it only illuminates the next step, nothing beyond that. Most people refuse to move because they want to see the entire staircase. They want a guarantee that step 10 is firm before they step onto step 1. This is the death of success. Abraham lived in Ur, a prosperous, comfortable city full of logic and predictability. Ur is the perfect metaphor for your comfort zone. It is that job that pays the bills but kills your soul. It is that safe routine that stunts your growth. The first secret to deciding without fear is understanding that comfort is a sedative. When the inner voice, call it intuition, God, or the universe, whispered to Abraham, "Leave your country and go to the land I will show you," he didn't receive a map. He received a direction. The practical lesson here is brutal. To gain what you have never had, you must be willing to lose what you have. The hard decision is never about what you will gain. It is about what you can endure leaving behind. As long as you are negotiating with your security, the fear of deciding will be your master. But the journey gets denser. Walking in the desert without a map requires a change of operating system in your mind. You need to stop operating in survival mode and switch to purpose mode. Imagine you are climbing a steep mountain. The air gets thin, your legs ache. Abraham faced the supreme test, the one that separates the boys from the giants, the dreamers from the achievers. He was asked for his most precious asset, his son Isaac. Bring this into your reality right now. Isaac isn't just a person in the story. Isaac is a metaphor for your most beloved project, your ego, your reputation, your accumulated wealth. It is whatever you are deeply attached to. The fear of deciding comes from excessive attachment to the outcome. You are afraid to invest because you are attached to the money. You are afraid to change because you are attached to the status. Abraham's secret to annihilating fear was radical detachment. He understood a universal law that modern millionaires apply instinctively. You only own what you have the courage to lose. If you cannot surrender it, you do not own the thing. The thing owns you. Imagine the scene. Climbing Mount Moriah, the silence was deafening. Every step was a continuous decision to trust the process, ignoring human logic that screamed, "This is madness." In your practical life, this means that when making a hard decision, you must visualize the worst-case scenario and accept it. If you lose everything, are you still you? If the answer is yes, the fear vanishes. Fear is just smoke that only exists when we are protecting an illusion. Abraham was willing to sacrifice the promise because he trusted the provider. When you trust in your ability to reinvent yourself, in your own game, in your resilience, the external decision loses its weight. You become light. And here we reach the climax, the moment the knife is raised. It is the moment you sign the risky contract, the moment you burn the bridges so there is no turning back. In that exact second, something mystical and practical happens. The provision appears. For Abraham, it was a ram. For you, it will be the client who appears out of nowhere, the genius idea that hits you in the shower, the unexpected partnership. But understand the order of factors. The ram only appeared after the decision was made, not before. The world reverses this logic. The world says, "Show me the money, and I will make the decision." The millionaire's secret is, "I make the decision, and the money follows me." Hesitation creates the obstacle, decision creates the path. It is like walking through a wall of fire. It looks like it will burn you, but it is just a hologram created by your reptilian brain to keep you back in safe mediocrity. Apply this tomorrow morning. Do you have a pending decision? Stop analyzing the variables infinitely. Excessive analysis is paralysis disguised as intelligence. Ask yourself, what is my intuition screaming while my logic whispers? Logic wants to keep you alive. Intuition wants to make you fly. Abraham didn't use risk spreadsheets. He used purpose alignment. If the decision aligns with who you want to become, the answer is already yes. The how solves itself along the way. Fear is not a stop sign. It is a sign of importance. We only fear what matters. If it didn't scare you, it wouldn't be worth doing. The secret is to act with fear until fear realizes you no longer obey it and leaves to find someone weaker. Descending that mountain, Abraham was no longer the same man. He had looked into the mirror of the soul and seen someone unbreakable. And that is exactly what we seek here. We aren't just talking about accumulating digits in a bank account, but about forging a character that can withstand the weight of glory. Material wealth is just a reflection, an inevitable consequence of who you have become internally. You need to be an Abraham in business, in family, and in life. A visionary who doesn't need to see to believe, but who believes in order to see. If this switch just flipped in your mind, if you felt the weight of the responsibility to take command of your own story and stop being a hostage to circumstances, then you are ready for the next level. What we discussed here is just the tip of the iceberg. The mindset that builds empires requires daily maintenance. You need to surround yourself with voices that remind you of your greatness, not your limitations. You need a mirror that doesn't just show who you are, but who you can be. That is why I invite you now to make the easiest and most impactful choice of your day. Subscribe to the channel, The Patriarch Files. Here we polish the mindset so that reality can shine. Don't just be a spectator of Abraham's story. Be the protagonist of yours. Click the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and get ready, because your climb up the mountain is just beginning. See you at the top.